if any teams, any sleepers in the NFC that could break out, I'm going to say one, and maybe you agree with me, and this is probably pretty obvious, but if Penix takes a step forward, he was a top 15 performing, top 12 performing quarterback last year at the end of the season. Falcons with the weapons, Drake London, improved offensive line, Bijan Robinson,
Darnell Mooney,
Kyle Pitts, if he can, return to rookie year form. That's a good offense. And an offense that improved, obviously, after Kirk Cousins and looks to be clicking with Penix and another year with him as the starting quarterback. I don't know how, but do they rival the Buccaneers in the NFC South? They make a playoff push. Could be. I don't know if really any team really has. I mean, I know the Eagles lost a lot in free agency, but I don't think any team really rivals them except maybe the Commanders.
Yeah.
And potentially the Rams, but now with Matthew Stafford and that back injury, who knows if he even stays healthy and re-aggravates. A spine injury. We'll get into that later. It's a spine injury that can be re-aggravated quickly, and back injuries are never good for NFL players. So
no, I agree with you. I think the Eagles, they filled some of the holes more than people will admit. I think they definitely did a good job of filling some of those departures. They have a wicked schedule this year. So, it's going to be tough for them to win the kind of games they won last year, which is definitely going to put pressure on them. I think the obvious rival is going to be the Rams because of the fact that if Matthew Stafford's healthy, this team has a really young, good defense. And then their offense has only improved with the addition, in my opinion, of Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua with Kyron Williams as their trio, it's just unfair at this point. It's really, really good. And they've got a really good quarterback. I think Tampa's actually the sleeper here. Tampa has Jalen Hurts' number. They beat them, in 23. The Eagles did. They beat the Bucks and then proceeded to lose in 23 in the playoffs against the Bucks. And then last year was that kickstart. That last game kickstarted their run to the playoffs. And people asked me, I was like, the best thing that possibly the Commanders ever did was beat the Bucks in the playoffs, because I didn't want to face them as an Eagles fan. I think because the 49ers schedule is so easy, I think if they return healthy and their offense gets clicking, and I know this is going to be an offense without Brandon Ayuk, but if their offense is clicking, I think that this team, because of how easy their schedule is, the depth is a problem. But I think if I'm going to pick one dark horse, because I think the Rams are too obvious because of how good they are, I think it has to be Tampa. I just think Tampa has a better scenario offensively and defensively with a really proven quarterback and a good. That trio might be the best trio in the NFL with Ibuka, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans, especially once Chris Godwin gets back to health. Those three plus Bucky Irving and Rachaad White, and then that O-line, which is not bad, and then the defensive line, which is good. That to me, they're a better team than I think people would believe, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks win 11 games this year. I think it's obviously possible that they don't, but I think it's like, okay, yes, 49ers, if they're healthy, their schedule is so easy. The Rams, we know how they were in the playoffs. They were, they gave the Eagles a run for their money. Certainly, probably the toughest opponent the Eagles play in the playoffs was the Rams. Yeah. But I think if you're going to go for a, kind of like a sleeper, it's got to be Tampa for me. Because then the Falcons, they have the 10th easiest schedule. It's not like their schedule is that hard. It's middle of the pack. So,
the Falcons fixing their secondary. You had Mike Hughes. You had, they also picked up Mike Ford, who, I guess he's not as important, but Mike Hughes was the big one who he started 19 games for the Falcons over the past 2 seasons. So, it could be. I don't know. The Falcons, if you're talking about the Buccaneers weapons, I think the Falcons weapons, barring that Penix takes another step, is rivals.
I agree. I just think that
Buccaneers.
Yeah. So I think it's really just, for me, it's about experience at quarterback. I think if Penix turns the corner, yes. I think that we know what we have with Baker Mayfield. We're going to get a gunslinger of a quarterback. Yeah. He many times gives me Brett Favre vibes. I think they're not really the same kind of player, but like it just kind of like I'm going to chuck it. I might throw 3 interceptions, but I also might throw 400 yards and hit my receivers.
Niners with their depth,
stride,
it's just Trent Williams. If they lose him, it's all over.
O-line
and just
O-line.
O-line, if they lose any of their starters, who do we have left? So, and we can go back and look at the depth. I know that Ben Barch, we just lost our left guard. He might not even make it back for the start of the season. But we had our guy that we drafted in the 7th round from Iowa this year who was okay. But it's just, I don't know how long you can go with neglecting the offensive line, but also it really just depends on, can an injury-laden Niners team stay healthy? Can Trent, McCaffrey, Warner, and if those guys go down, especially McCaffrey and Trent Williams,
I'd argue, I agree with you. I think the stakes are high, but the injury risk is also high, the re-injury risk. Yeah, it'd be interesting because I think if they stay healthy, they're a top 5 team in the NFC, easy. If they don't stay healthy, they very well.
Because we're not even going to be starting the season with our starting strong safety either. Malik Mustafa. Now we've got we drafted Marquis Siegel, who apparently is looking really good in camp, but it's just, and then our 1st round pick, Michael Williams, already injured and has basically missed all of camp. Might not even
stuff.
So
yeah.
I don't know. The Niners are a wild card for sure because we do have a big time a big time question mark and an easy